Stacia, we can do roll call, please.
Nancy Dressel.
Here?
Brian Moulton.
Here.
Maureen Colbeck. Bob Dempster. Courtney Kukowski. Katie Thurman.
Here.
Patty Schachner. Here.
Thank you. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our district mission is developing learners, empowering futures together. Our district vision is to become a premier community, reaching learners with their passions and pathways. Our statement of core strategies is enhance learning, advance services and operations, engage community through partnerships, and cultivate professional growth and leadership. And board members, please review the protocol reminders. And that, can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Can you make that motion, Bob?
Thanks, Brian.
A second.
Thanks, Courtney, or Katie. All right. Any comment, changes on the agenda? Being none, all those in favor of the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? General reports, move this over to Mark, the superintendent's report.
Okay, just a few items tonight. I did pass out a sheet for the applicants for the high school principal position. You see we have 25. After going through them all, we've got, well, they're natural breaks, you know, from people with lots of experience to very little experience. So I see we've got 4 or 5 very good applicants, which is very typical. If you have 25 applicants, you're going to have probably about a core of probably around 6 or 7 that are will be good interview. But we have more exceptional people that we'll be happy with. So that will there's a meeting this Wednesday at about 2:30. A meeting with the interview committee. And we will look at, probably look at the top 10 or 15 applicants that we weeded out and see who the final pool will be. We'll talk about questions. We'll probably include some form of presentation by the applicants for the following Wednesday's interviews. Depending on how many we decide to interview, we'll dictate what time we start on Wednesday, on the 26th. The idea is to hopefully have smoke come out of the chimney that night sometime. So if we decide to interview 4 or 5 or 6, we'll figure that out on Wednesday. The other piece is we're deep into planning for those days at the end of the year for the strategic planning process. I'll be meeting this Wednesday with the entire district at 3:15 over at the multi-purpose room, and we'll lay out the general outline of what those days are going to look like and how to prepare for those. We'll cover the expectations and the goals, what we want to have as a finished product. We'll be defining, you know, since everyone's going to be participating in this, we've got 5 teams that we have to shape up. We have a measurement team, we've got the educational delivery or learning team, facilities, community engagement, and leadership. So all the employees will choose, we'll put out a survey and we'll rank their first, second, or third choices so we can split people up equally on these 5 groups, because those groups will have to look at the strategies and have to develop the results for how do we accomplish that strategy. So they'll probably come up with anywhere from 5 to 10 results under each one of these strategies with a benefit statement and some type of cost analysis. But to get to that, you know, first of all, we have to know what areas they're going to work on, and also start prepping them so they come to these 3 days ready to hit the ground running. So they're doing research ahead of time, identifying what best practices are in the areas that they will be working on. And how we'll do that is Charlie Blesner, who's our facilitator for the planning processes so far, he will be here on the 5th, on the professional development day. he'll be working with half the staff for 90 minutes and the other half for another block of 90 minutes, and go through in more detail of what those 2.5 days will look like, as far as what our finished product is and how they have to prepare to work on those days. Because those days will be a series of all group meetings, there'll be small group meetings, they'll be intermingled a couple of times because we'll have groups working, different strategies, working on some of the same activities. And we want to make sure that by the time we come to Thursday morning, that third day, that we're able to make a presentation to the entire district. Here's what every group is doing, here's what we're pushing forward to the core planning. Now, we want to get the core planning team in on Thursday afternoon, because this all has to go to the core planning team to review. And all the results that are developed by the staff will be reviewed by the core planning team, and when they put their blessing and wordsmithing on it, then it'll come to the board in June, and we should have a finished product. So that's kind of the broad stroke of what's gonna happen here. Yeah, that's, I think that'll do it for what I have. Just on a personal note, you know, we've had a lot of stuff going on in the family this weekend. I'm gonna be gone, this following Monday and Tuesday out to Colorado Springs when my son comes back, and the following Sunday and Monday is when we're having funeral. Now that's, Monday night is the night of that DAPES training. And I'm also supposed to have the chamber here to finish up their strategic plan. So, depending on what happens Monday, it's gonna be hit or miss how late this funeral goes on Monday, but should be back in time for that. But it's more important that for the dates that you guys are together on that than I am.
Yeah, we can work.
So just, yeah, you can always reach me by phone, and I'll have my computer with me.
Yeah,
where I'm
I'll
at,
touch
so
base with you later. Sure. Yep.
that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Item B is our financial reports. Everyone review those, any questions on those? Item C, school board member reports, anything? Any of you have to report out on? Events, opportunities?
Participated in Operation Prom today. Seemed to go pretty well.
Good.
I did notice that some area school districts are passing resolutions regarding the state budget. So I don't know if that's something that we want to have a discussion of and take a stance to advocate for or against.
And supporting the governor's.
Yes.
Good.
There's also new legislation coming up for 17-year-olds in the budget, which is, or in the session, which is gonna have to do with bringing 17-year-olds back to being minorities and not in the adult trial, which will affect schools. So that's being discussed right now.
And then through the email for a meeting with Dave Metzen and David, schedule a time if you want to reach out to Dave and talk with him and schedule a time, that'd be much appreciated. Okay. Dropping down to item D is our student representative report. Schmidt. Table overview.
Alright, so first up this month, Somerset had a total of 42 solo ensemble participants at the district festival on April 6th. Of those 42, 15 of them earned the highest score that you can earn, which is a 1, and they'll be advancing on the state. And actually 2 students, Kate Holbeck and Gail Guerra, earned Best in Sight awards, which means that of the entire day and everyone that the judges saw that day, they were chosen as the best ones they saw or heard that day. So that's very exciting. So here's all the participants. These are the ones that will be going on to state. And then these are Kate and Kayla who earned Best in Sight awards. Our forensics team. Alright, so the forensics team has participated in the district meet on April 1st. And districts is the last level before state. And actually everyone on the forensics team will be advancing on state, so all 28 participants, which is very exciting. And they'll be heading down to Madison this weekend to participate at Madison, so it's very exciting to see. We have a very large forensics team compared to a lot of the area schools, like Nourishment, I think only has 7 students participating, so we have a huge amount of students participating. Ms. Vader took several students to CISA for their biotechnology day. I actually got to go with, and so they do these 2 sessions for middle schoolers and high schoolers about biotechnology. So the middle schoolers got to actually separate strands of DNA through gel electrophoresis, which is very cool. I got to do that last year, which is something we don't get to do in the classroom here, but it's very, very interesting. And the way they present is very informative, and they teach you, and it brings in a lot of stuff you've learned in your biology and chemistry and science 9 courses, and kind of take it to another level that we haven't gotten to get to at Somerset, just because we don't have some of these things. So it's great supplemental level. In our high school section, what we actually did was we took an egg and we cracked it and we tested it for salmonella antibodies, which was very cool to see. Actually, all eggs are exposed to salmonella, which is cool to see, but it doesn't mean you're going to get salmonella. It's only a 1 in 2 million chance, but it's still very cool to take that technology and use equipment that we don't normally get to use and just learn something beyond the classroom. So our AP language and composition classes are right now in the middle of their service learning projects. And these are projects where the students are asked to identify a problem that they see, whether that's in the school, the community, the world around them, and come up with their own solution to that, which is a very real world project. So there's lots of different projects going on. Some students are working on creating a writing center at the high school, raising money for hospitals, animal shelters. Our Girls Are Smart project is continuing on. So there's lots of interesting things going on at the high school, a lot of great work. And this project really takes your learning beyond the classroom, where you're contacting people, outside, sending emails, writing proposals. Everyone has to propose their projects to some administration. So it's a very great real world project. So be looking for some of those results coming out soon in the next couple of months. As Patty was saying, we hosted Operation Prom today. So they had the cars actually brought in, and students participated as actors in it. They set a scene up of one car coming home from post-prom and one coming home from a party. And we saw the Somerset Police Department, the fire department, Patty was there, a helicopter flew in, seeing the funeral home come through. It was very, very real world example. It gave you chills just watching it, and not the good kind. It was very, very impactful to see, especially when you see them putting students into the body bag, and that could be someone you know. And these are the friends pictures that I just figured. Some very animated students. These are all the students that have been participating this weekend in Madison. And then finally, just a little recap about our spring sports. All our spring sports are well underway. Our track team has participated in several meets so far, and we've seen really good results from our throwing team, the relay teams, and our long distance runners. The girls soccer team has played several times already, several home games. They've done really well, a couple ties, almost 10 run between the other day, 7-0. The softball team has several wins so far, and they did 10 run a team. Our baseball team is doing well, improving every game. Pictures. Something fun, every Friday for the past couple months, we've been hosting a lightning tournament up at the high school. They made a bracket and students can participate during homeroom. So it's just kind of a fun little thing on Fridays. Just last week they held the championship, and Caitlin Strumke was the winner, won $20. And two runners up, Jerry and Brendan, which was just a fun little break from the school day. Lots of fun. The kids loved coming down to the gym and watching. And the medals class, if you haven't seen, has been working on their bus for the bus races. Lots of work going on there, and I think I heard that Dr. Busick will be driving the bus. Is that what you're taking some extra care to make it safe for you.
Lots of pedal, that's
Yeah. Then just coming up, prom is this weekend. They're doing the grand march in the multi-purpose room at the high school on Saturday at 6:30. The post-prom afterwards, and dance at the Stillwater Library, so it'll be lots of fun. It'll be a fun week. Kind of winding down there. Seniors only have 24 more days of school, so.
Not if you're counting though, right?
No, we're not counting it. That's all I got.
Thanks, Shelley. Strumke knocked her off, huh? Was Martell not there that day, or? Did you just rise up the occasion? Yeah. All right. Item E, this is our favorite portion of the meeting, is our staff, student, and community recognition. Tonight we have, to start, our WIAA Scholar Athletes. Haley Bassett and Nick Metterjean. Haley is, I just got a text from her dad that said she's sick, so she won't be with us tonight. And they apologize that they couldn't be here. Nick and his mom and dad are here. Mr. Walsh, I believe you have some great words to share with us about Nick and his accomplishments.
Sure.
So I'll give you the floor. Yep.
Very happy to introduce Nick Metterjean as our 2017 Scholar Athlete Award winner. In March, the New Award Conference hosted the Student Athlete Awards banquet down in St. Croix Central. Nick, one of the leaders in our senior class, both achieving in the classroom. Student who has a 3-point, I think he was rounded up, he's pushing a 3.9, multiple sport letter winner. Three things that really impressed me about Nick and Haley this year. They're kids who really raised the bar high, student athletes, who achieve great things in our competition and also just represent what it means to be a great student. Secondly, they are kids who serve in our school, involved in mentorship, tutoring, they're at events for volunteering, and just really represent the kids who are giving all the time, contributing to our community. And then thirdly, they just have the base of love and support of great families. So it's just really, Nick, congratulations, great career here. Thank you.
Congratulations, Nick, we're proud of you. All right.
Forgive me one more. Smile.
Jeff. Next we have Tori Martell, girls basketball state 3-point participant. And I'll read what I was sent to read tonight. It says, congratulations to Tori Martell, who competed in the 2017 WIAA 3-point challenge in Green Bay on Saturday. March 11, 2017. The event was held in conjunction with the 2017 Girls State Basketball Tournament. Tori qualified as one of the top 2 3-point shooters over the course of the season in Division III. The other finalists competing against Tori was Savannah Walsdorf from Kiel High School. Among 5 basketball divisions, Tori finished the season as one of the top 10 3-point shooters in all the state, making an astounding 46% of her shots, which is a feat that is absolutely impressive. And Mr. Lindenberg, do you want to share anything? You're so good at
A couple other fun facts from
Yeah.
the tournament, from the 3-point shooting contest, was that she set a Wisconsin record for most points scored in a single round with 22. Over the course of the season, she was just a tremendous asset to the program, both athletically with her, her basketball talents, but also as a leader and as a great human being and leading our team to a successful season. So, great human being. Wonderful babysitter of Brett from time to time. And we'll miss her when she's gone.
Now we have Mr. Corey Lindenberg, Middle Border Conference Coach of the Year. And I believe, John, do you want to take this over and share since you worked with Corey on his coaching this year and last year?
Corey, tremendous run here with a stellar group of athletes, girls basketball players. Deservingly, I think represents the coaches in our conference, both in the strategy of the game, but as one of the adults working with our young people, demonstrating character and class in the field of competition, especially on the court. So Corey, as our leader on the basketball team, taking our team to the highest levels, consecutive Middle Border Conference champions, repeat regional champions, and 4 quarters away from a chance to take the team to the state tournament this year. Deservingly one of the top coaches in our area, but specifically Middle Border Conference Coach of the Year.
I think to the testament that Corey is a very likable and successful coach, as a lot of his players are sitting in the back here. Any girls want to say anything about Coach?
I feel like he's taught us how to be better people, and through practices he knows how to have fun, but he also knows how to make us be serious and get what we need to be done. We really had a lot of fun this season, and part of that is
Anyone else? Okay, you guys good? Jacob Woodstock is our next representative tonight, and he is the AMC Math Exam Scholarship recipient. The American Mathematics Competition 12 is a 25-question, 75-minute multiple-choice examination in high school mathematics designed to promote the development and enhancement of problem-solving skills. The AMC 12 covers the entire high school math curriculum, including trigonometry, advanced algebra, and advanced geometry, excluding calculus. Students in grade 12 are below and under 19 years of age on the day of contest will take the AMC 12. The exams were administered around the country on Tuesday, February 7th. The AMC 12 provides an opportunity for high school students to develop positive attitudes towards analytical thinking and mathematics that can assist in future careers. It is the first in a series of competitions that eventually led all the way to the International Mathematical Olympiad. Each year, Patrick Drains, a Somerset High School graduate in the class of 1983, donates $1,000 to the student who scores the highest on the exam. This year's AMC 12 winner is Jacob Woodstock, 11th grader at Somerset High School. He is the son of Melissa and Paul Woodstock. This is the second year in a row that Jacob has won a $1,000 scholarship, and we congratulate him on his accomplishment. Good job. Congratulations.
Hang on, Jacob, don't leave yet, because I have.
There you go.
I don't know if you mentioned this, Mr. Gunther, but he also won this award last year as well. It's an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations. Keep up the great work, and there is your scholarship money.
This is the money shot, forget that.
Congratulations.
Is Jackson Cook here?
Yep.
All right, Jackson Cook is our final state recipient tonight, or state math master's participant. I don't have anything prepared, but I'm going to put you on the spot and you're going to explain.
I can, well, do you
Sarah's
want to,
gonna do
or
it.
would you like me to help you out?
Sarah's going to do it.
You can't, I know.
Saving the day, thank you.
Mrs. Vader, who is actually the math master's coach for the middle school. So she is our DT teacher for K-8 and does all the work, and prepared a group of 8th grade boys to compete at the regional competition in Eau Claire. This is the first year we've really tried to get organized math masters, so there's plans to expand this in the future. As a team, they did not qualify for state, but Jackson took 11th overall in the region, which qualified him to compete at the state tournament the first weekend in March. So Jackson, could you tell us like one thing about the state tournament that you like remember was most impactful for you?
Putting you on the spot.
I know it's hard.
Well, it just shows that you aren't always going to be the smartest or best.
So pretty good competition down there. So I'm hoping that, as we continue to grow with, Mrs. Vader's work at that we'll have more kids that are, qualifying teams and things like that. But it was very exciting to get one to go to state. So congratulations, Jackson.
Thank you.
As long as we have this, I just want to say to Jackson's parents, especially his dad, parent warriors are amazing. And the day that it was announced that this was going to be happening, he was on the email to me. Kay, are you going to make this happen? Are you going to make this happen? Are we going to get this going? Are you going to consider going to regionals in Eau Claire? And before that day, even a few hours were gone, he was on it. And
He wanted me to get him in, so.
well, and I was just so proud of just the parent warrior and that whole part of it. But Jackson did a great job. It was our first time we went. He was chosen to go on stage with and Trey Krybeck also at the regional competition in Eau Claire. It was a hot spot. They sat in front of a huge amount of people and had a little buzzer. And Jackson was calm and cool, and he did a great job. And then he went on to the state. I was just so proud of him. So, yay!
He's got to get to practice.
Nick, do you want to share with us anyone that's come to celebrate tonight with you?
Just my parents.
Your mom and dad. A round of applause for Mr. Justin. Sorry, you want to introduce your parents or anyone else that's with you tonight?
What?
You want to introduce your parents? And if you guys want to stand up. Bruce and Brenda, yes. Jake? Mom and Dad? Jackson's parents are in the back there.
Wife and child.
I'm getting to you. And Corey.
And Amber Lindenberg and Rutland.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, everyone, and congratulations. short recess, we have some cake, we have some beverages, and we'll
Thank you,
reconvene
Sarah.
at 7:45. 7:43. So, thank you, everyone. We're in open forum. Opinions and ideas contributed by students, parents, staff, and other citizens are valuable to the school board. The board may receive such input without comment or take no action relative to the items brought forward. They may direct the district administrator to consider such an item at an appropriate place on the agenda or a subsequent meeting. The board has set aside 20 minutes for this purpose. Anyone wishing to address the board is asked to fill out a red card prior to the start of the meeting. Please limit the comments to 5 minutes. And we have Kim Dunley, and you have the floor for 5 minutes.
So, I just have found that this is a gold mine. 5 minutes of the school board members' attention. I'm loving it. And so I want to bring your attention to the fact that the school board really sets all kinds of things, which you already know. You make a difference in every student's life here at school. And you do that with all the policies that you make and decisions that you make. But you also get to do it through setting the culture. And that's a topic that I'd like to explore a little bit here. And I'll start it out with that I was born here and went to school here, and I'm a Belil. And when I was growing up, I was taught that when you're inside Somerset, you say that your name is Belil. And outside of Somerset, you say your name is Belisle. And that's how we did it. If I was in Stillwater and somebody asked me my name is Belisle. But in Somerset, it was Belisle. So after I graduated here, a couple of years later, I moved to Arizona. And when I lived in Arizona, it was pretty rare that anybody knew how to say my last name. I got Belisle, Belisle. Once in a while, somebody did know. Typically, they were from California, but most people did not. And you just learn to live with it. It never really bothered me. Then I came back to Somerset and started coming to some school board meetings. Usually it was for one of my kids was getting recognized here, and I noticed that there were a lot of new names, a lot of new student names. And many school board members, as they were handing out these awards, didn't necessarily know how to say these last names. And in a way, I thought it was pretty cool that we had a lot of new names. You know, it wasn't all Revards and Schotlers and Schockners and Martells and names that we were very familiar with and can say, and Belisle, or Belisle, however you want to say it, and Matergene, or Matrigene, however you're going to say that. But a lot of very new names. And, you know, I started thinking that we're a small town and we're a small school, and we really should know how to pronounce these names. Somewhere along the line, as I was thinking about those things, I came along a blog post that actually talked about it. Talked about how we pronounce student names and why it matters to pronounce them correctly. And I printed this off, and I have a copy for each of you that you can look at later. But I'd like to just say a few things that's in this blog post, and you can look at it later to get a little bit more detail. But in it talks about that that there's many students, the way you say their name, it conveys a message to them. And if you mispronounce it, it can, whether you intend to or not, it can send the message to them that you're saying, you know, your name is different. It's foreign, it's kind of weird. And that you didn't care enough to take the time to learn how to say it. Later on, it actually categorizes mispronunciation, the way people do it, and it also gives some ideas on how to get it right, how to take some steps to learn how to pronounce students' names. It gives you some tips and tricks on how to do it, which is great. I have a couple. I think that all the school board members here expect students to come to school prepared. You expect them to walk in the door prepared. Teachers expect them to come to class prepared with the proper materials. Expect them to, before a test, to be prepared by doing research. And so, you know, school board members could do the same to learn how to pronounce the students' names before you hand them an award. I just would like to read the very end of this blog post. It says, whatever you do, do something. And it ends with, and if you have the honor of announcing student names on the day they receive an award, their diploma, a day they have made some big achievement, you have a unique opportunity to make it even more special. But you only have 2 seconds. So make it count. It's a gift they'll remember for a long time. So as far as setting a culture, you know, if that's something that's important to you, if what I'm talking about is important to you, then what I'm asking you to consider is to give the gift of pronunciation. That's what I have.
Here you go, Mrs. Bates.
I would have, I would have a few parents like get rid of the nice that he is free to talk about.
There you go. Mine has 2.
Yes, rebar number hard. You're
Fancy
right.
ones. Yeah.
Is that in town or out of town?
Well, PJ.
Well, yes,
So
he is.
good. So good.
So thank you for your time.
You're next, Jen.
Hi, Jen Sutton, business teacher at the high school. Just really briefly, typically around this time of year we start talking about the senior forum and the seniors that come before you and have a kind of a Q&A. It's always kind of interesting to hear what the seniors have to say as they depart here. And I don't know what the policy or procedure was for picking that group of seniors to represent their class, and if that's something that's being looked at again for this year. But we always say after it happens, we want to look at those questions and we want to get better feedback from the group that's leaving. They always have such great things to say. I mean, good and bad, but interesting things to say, things we can learn from. So I'm hoping that's going to be looked at again to do. And if so, maybe revisiting some of those kind of standard questions that have been asked of that group, and maybe reaching out to more than just the 9 that are kind of plucked by someone. I don't know how that worked before, but maybe cleaning that up a little bit and getting some teacher feedback and some teachers from the high school or the district that could kind of make that process a little more valuable, because I know throughout the year it then gets brought up multiple times. Well, the senior said, and then we always think, well, that was one senior, that was, to get more consistent with the message that they leave you with as they leave here. I think it's a valuable thing, but I think we could also kind of clean that up a little bit, so that's it.
Yeah, thank you.
So when is the forum? Or there's no date? No.
In the past, it's always been kind of
Yeah, 12 days.
May-ish,
Yep.
so.
Typically it was before a board meeting, and I personally thought we could have dedicated an
Right.
entire night to that.
Yeah.
Because it felt rushed through about 45 minutes. Board meeting typically occurred late because we passed the time because we were so interested in what the students had to say. So I think that's something that definitely we're gonna revisit and give it its own night, just to get that feedback from our student body.
Is it Q&A?
It's a list of prepared questions students fill out. They're selected by I think teachers or counselor. I don't know who exactly, the principal maybe selects a group of 10 to 15. I'm not sure. I think it was a high school principal. Prepared questions, anything from technology to their experiences from kindergarten all the way up. If they came from a different school, how their experience was here, what was lacking, what were we doing good, what were we not doing real good at. And it was great. You saw one year it was all about technology and our lack of technology and things didn't work well, so we went to task and improved some of our technology, and then conversation really didn't come up in subsequent years. Without that feedback, I think we really didn't know exactly. It was really tarnishing their ability to learn. So that was good. So we'll have to explore that. Thank you. We'll move down to item 4, advanced learning. Item 2017 summer school. Is there a motion to recommend the school board to approve the 2017 summer school schedule and operating?
So moved.
Thanks, Katie.
Second that.
Thanks, Nancy. All right, discussion?
Are parents able to do this electronically now?
No, I don't believe so.
Whoops, just asking.
So, no, that's a lot of discussion around that. It's,
Okay. I know that's something that parents want. Would it take a lot for next year to plan for that? Is that a huge undertaking?
Well, yeah, we started quite a bit of discussion about that for this year, and we couldn't get our hands around it for this year. With Renee coming in now, we'll make gradual transition for that to go to community ed.
Oh, okay.
And then moving all electronic registration. And the cumbersome piece of it now is because what they try and do is trying to custom scheduling where if a class is running so long that people just want to take so many days of it and go into another. And this is just like modular scheduling back in the 70s. I mean, it can be done. It's just that they haven't walked down this path yet. So that's one of my goals is to get this done electronically.
Perfect.
I hope you can go to one of those 2 nights. Maybe the first night, watch the process.
Right at 6.
Yeah.
I've heard all about it.
No, you gotta see it.
It's like Black Friday without a sale.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's so like crazy out, you're standing in a line,
Yeah.
waiting for the doors to open.
And most nights it's not raining, so that's good.
Yeah.
And I remember nights.
Schools are ripped, people are bleeding.
Yeah.
It's pretty vicious. There's gotta be a better way.
It's not all about technology.
Nancy, you good?
I was wondering about
Okay.
if we could move to electronic also. I know we can pay our lunch online. Are students able to pay other fees online yet?
Some.
Yes. So we have an online pay system within our district that we should be able to.
This won't take that much, but it's just getting all the stars to align.
Right. Motion made and seconded to recommend the school board approve the 2017 summer school schedule and offerings. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Cultivating professional growth and learning is item 5. Director and principal's reports. The floor over to Sarah.
Yay. All right, so you have a copy of the report verbatim. We had Mary Teresa Schmitz in on our March 31st Professional Development Day, and she focused on mindfulness with all of us, and we did a large group session for a couple of hours with her, and then she did 3 one-hour breakout sessions throughout the course of the day. There's a lot of positive movement behind it. We have a lot of teachers asking to be trained in Yoga Calm, which is a school-appropriate version of yoga to teach breathing and calmness with kids. We have a lot of teachers across the district already implementing some of what they learned, which is fantastic. The biggest thing she talked about with us is that we have to take care of ourselves first in order to be better for our kids. And so we have to learn how to breathe, because sometimes we all forget to do that. It was a very positive day for all involved. And we were nominated by CISA to also participate in DPI's new Sea Cruise kind of dashboard that they're trying to build. Sea Cruise is a predictor of college and career readiness. So we already have DEWS, which is the dropout early warning system, so kids that are flagged for potential high school dropouts. Sea Cruise is their new one, which is the college career readiness early warning system. So right now it's available for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. And in that, it's like a spreadsheet that's a mile long right now, so it's not really user-friendly, so we're kind of picking apart the pieces that'll work. But it is based on the forward exam that they take, and attendance, discipline, those pieces as to whether or not by the time they leave us, are they a high risk, a moderate risk, or a low risk for being college and career ready. And so in looking at that, granted, as we look at it with a grain of salt because it's 1 year of data. They're also working to predict ACT score off of that. I don't know how or any of that. So we're going to look at it, once I pare down all that, we're going to look at it through some of our problem-solving team meetings to see, are there kids that we agree with, as far as, you know, do we see those pieces in them as whether or not we think they'll be college and career ready by the time they leave. And now that's, you know, it's all numbers on the kids. At this point, it's not, you know, working hard and their own drive, and that piece isn't present there. But it gives us another opportunity to look at, is the job we're doing getting kids ready for that next level. So they're looking at that, again, we'll provide them with some feedback at the end of the year to see how far they want to take it. So that's kind of, those are the two biggies for this month.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I heard the training was great.
It was. It was fantastic.
Any questions, Ms.
I just have two quick things really
Oh,
quick.
Kate, did you have a question, Katie?
Oh,
I did, but you can go ahead.
that's okay. Are you sure? Okay. Two quick things regarding Alice updates. I want to make sure that I publicly thanked Rick Hintz. He just completed making about 350 wedges that were just delivered to each of the buildings between last Thursday and today. So each classroom now has a new wedge, and it sounds like it would be a fairly simple task just to throw out a bunch of wedges, but we actually had to go through 6 prototypes because every door, every building is thicker, thinner, the carpet, you know, all those kinds of things. So he actually had to put kind of a special black tar coating on the bottom of the wedge. He donated all his time, all the materials, didn't want a penny for any of it, so I want to make sure that I thanked him for that. We have one more Alice drill that we will be participating in about mid-May, where we will work on the evacuation piece of Alice. Again, as always with our drills, these will be drills that staff and students will know of ahead of time. This won't be something that we will just drop on people as a surprise. Communication will go out to parents ahead of time. And again, they'll continue to be age appropriate, so our drill in the elementary school will look a little bit different than what we do in the high school, for example. But just kind of keep moving through that implementation, which should finish out the rest of the year.
Well, that's pretty amazing what Refine's construction did. That's an amazing contribution to the safety of our students, so I would echo our thanks. So I wanted to know about the seat groups.
Sure.
So we see a lot of initiatives that keep coming, and stuff keeps piling on, so how much of this, how much work is this for the rest of the staff? You know, you talked about you have a whole bunch of data.
Well, I'm going to pare it down to what I think is useful for us, and it will be a conversation at this point. As far as, here are some kids that, show up as high, do we think that this, when we look at their data, and we have to look, it's 1 year of data, it's not a trend over time, this is something new. I think DPI is trying to give us more information on, are we doing what we say we are doing to reach, Agenda 2017, which is college and career readiness for all of our kids. It's a predictor. We've had DEWS in WiseDash for a really long time, which is the dropout early warning system. I use that more with counselors, in that way. So we're looking at the usability. They asked us to look at it for usability and for feedback. So it's nothing that we have to do. We were asked to take a look at it, and so, I'm taking the first look at it. Last week, Trish and I sat down with Kate Rohrbeck, and then Jesse Thorson's gonna be a part of that because we meet every week to look at the data. So to try to pare it down to what we can use first versus here's a spreadsheet that's a mile long. Let's weed through it together. So our goal is to pare it down first to what we think will be most useful for a conversation. That's the plan at this point. It's nothing real solid because it's a pilot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Making sure Shannon and Sarah.
No problem.
No. Thank you. Engage the community through partnerships is item 6. And do we have a date on our next community strategic plan, Mark, or is it still?
No, we don't, because we're gonna wait how, you give at least 2 months for these groups to go back to their groups. And,
Yeah, I didn't know if there's something.
yeah, no, there isn't.
Yep, that's, I assume there wasn't.
So as a school board though, do we need to complete that process, or are
Well,
we gonna depend
it-
on our strategic plan?
I think once I would guess that 99.9% of what came out of Saturday is gonna be in our strategic plan, so as far as the school committee, I would just, you guys got off easy. So I just wait.
Anyone else wants to add to that?
Or who else was there? Let's see. You guys were after session. Good conversations.
Yeah, it was, very good. Item 7, advanced services and operations. Item A is installment of oath of office. And that's for me. Gunther.
So this is an honor. This is what, round number 4? Number 3?
Three, I remember, 3.
I don't know if Bob recalls, but I actually ran against him at one point and I lost to him by 1 vote. And I was thrilled because I actually wanted the opportunity to serve with you. So, I'd like to have you go through your official oath of the school board member. Please repeat after me. I, Bob Gunther, the undersigned,
The other side.
who has been duly elected to the Board of Education of the School District of Somerset,
Who has been duly, yes, I told you to go slower.
has been duly
Who has
elected
been duly elected
to the Board of
to the
Education
Board of Education
of the School District of
of the
Somerset,
School District of Somerset,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
but not yet have entered the duties thereof.
swear
Swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United
of
States
the United States,
and the Constitution of Wisconsin,
the Constitution of Wisconsin,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for doing it.
It's better when there's 2 of you instead. It's not
That's so
just one
true.
of you.
Right, you can, you know, remember the first half and then someone else remember the second half. Come all together. Thank you. Item 8 is consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, okay, all right. Questions, comments, discussions on the consent agenda? Melissa? A, J.
I'm really excited about the graduation diplomas and that the students will get to participate.
Hearing nothing else, all those in favor of approval of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve consent agenda unanimously. General information, upcoming dates of importance, anything?
I got 2 things.
All right.
First, I want to say a big thank you and shout out to Sarah Calling for all her work today. It was a great project and a great experience for the kids to see. So thank you, Sarah, for all you do for us. And second, if families and parents and school board members are looking for a experience in compassion and empathy, I would encourage you to go to New Richmond and get your tickets for the Church of Felons. The movie is coming out, is going to be in New Richmond on May 12th and 13th. It's an actual movie about 3 people from Polk County who were involved in addiction and alcohol, where they actually caused bodily harm and took someone's life, and how that community of Polk County gave them a second chance. It's a very powerful, powerful meeting, or movie, and those 3 people will be there for questions and answers after. So, every community it has been in, people have walked out saying it is probably the most powerful thing they've ever seen in their life, so I would encourage you. So, there you go.
What were the dates again?
May 12th and 13th. Of course, 13th is when Dr. Giesig will be driving the bus, so we cannot do it that day. But I got my tickets ready to go.
There we go.
It's a race from there.
At the
High school
high school auditorium. But if you go to YouTube and just look at the trailer, it will hook you. Just go to YouTube and go Church of Felons. It will hook you right there.
All right.
Could the school district promote that event? Could we put it on our Facebook and?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Look at the trailer, I'm talking about it. You've seen it?
Huh? I have talked to people, I haven't seen it, I know a lot of people who have seen it. I'm actually have time to go see it this time, but it's phenomenal from every, we just discussed it at CJCC last week, so all the judges are going.
Get more information before we just
Yep.
jump out there.
Yep, absolutely. Anything else, anyone? I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Nancy.
Can I say one other thing on that? The part of redemption is the real important part. I had the opportunity to meet someone who actually went through part of the process in Polk County. And when I got there, I was like, who is this dude? He had crazy Elvis hair and all this hair stuff. And he had spent 55 years in prison. So obviously it did something pretty intense. But he talks about how Polk County and their systems and how they, help people get a second chance, kept him on the straight and narrow. And he basically told all of us it would have been so much easier to commit another crime and go back to prison. And when he said that, a lot of us just kind of went, I never really thought about redemption that way. So it's really important for those of us who can be very judgmental to really think about being open-minded about people who make mistakes. Once they pay their time, give them a chance.
Nancy made the motion to adjourn.
I did.
I'll second.
Thanks, Katie. All in favor of adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned at 8:11. Thanks, everyone.
You what?